Okay, so I know I didn't go on yesterday and do my daily ramble. I think it's probably been 2 days. And I'm like, come on, you just started and you're already being inconsistent. So I wanted to come on here to do my ramble about being intentional as a woman, especially with society and how quick society is willing to shift from one belief system to another. And I understand that we're living in a really high paced, fast environment and everything is kind of like popcorn and fast food. So I don't know. I feel like it's necessary for women and young girls, especially because I was a young girl myself and I understand what it's like to live freely. And those have consequences of living freely and wasting your time doing things that serve you no purpose. And one of the biggest concerns is how pop culture is pretty much making it okay to go. And first off, I want to let that be known that you don't want that as a record. Because nowadays, more than ever, men feel entirely entitled to women. Like they feel entitled and they feel like they have full power and possession over women, especially those that may have a record. I don't know, a reputation. And it's like, I know women don't care, but also women have to protect themselves as men do protect themselves as well because they know there's danger out there that occurs. They carry guns, they have dogs, they get high powered vehicles, trucks, they get security systems. You know, like you can't walk around this world thinking I have freedom and I'm okay. Like we have to start being intentional about every single thing, and that's something that I had a really bad issue with growing up, was being intentional and making decisions, clear decisions about what I wanted to be in the future, because I was like, I'm gonna just leave it up to my future self. Like my future self will be able to figure everything out. And oh my God, was I wrong. I was wrong. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I didn't know how hard it was going to be, because I'm like, I'm here at the future and it's like, oh, well, you got years of making up to do. You got years of getting yourself together and getting into a position that you even feel like you're valuable enough to consider yourself successful. And, you know, the younger that you understand that you have to dedicate yourself in your mind and be as intentional as possible, especially in a world where everybody wants to chase being viral and everybody wants to be the next star on the internet. You got to have plans and you got to have skills. And although I had a plan and a skill, I wasn't intentional about them. And it makes me just as, you know, it makes life harder. I don't want to say I don't have value, because when you have gifts, you have value. But when you don't use them and you don't share them properly or, you know, according to society's norms, then you kind of get thrown, you know, in the back. And it's like, okay, who's next? You got to be intentional. I wouldn't say you need to be competitive, but just be intentional about what you want to do. And although I definitely wanted to use my voice and I wanted to talk, I feel like I spoke a lot of nonsense most of the time, or it wasn't intentional enough to get me in the position or in the doors that I thought were going to have me excel and reach me to that next level. So now I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, if I would have spent more time, like I actually studied, got the A's that I wanted, went to the school that I wanted, I would have felt like I had more value. And I know those are lessons, but in the end, the internet and the phone was my biggest distraction, and I wasn't intentional about my time management, and I wasn't intentional about what I was going to do the next day. I was just going to let the next day happen as long as I got, you know, the key factors done, like go to school. That's it. But I didn't really have any goals set in place. I wasn't focused on myself. I was focused on everything around me, like significant partners and irrelevant shit. I'm not even with that person, and I'm not even in any of the relationships that I thought I was going to be in. And I know when you're young and in love, it's like, you can't tell us we're going to live until we're 105 together. You just got to be intentional about your own life. Even if you do get with somebody and they take care of you, once they stop, it's kind of, you're on your own. And that's what I had to understand, like being as intentional as possible. And I've had so many chances to focus on my own career and be intentional about my career and what I wanted to learn and the skills that I wanted to possess so I could grow further into my career. And I decided to choose the emotionally comforting route, or the route that wasn't going to involve too much thinking. I just wanted an easy job, an easy way of living. And life just ain't getting easier, especially for women. Like, yeah, we did fight for women's rights, didn't we? So now we got to get out here and work. And so now I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking about, like, damn, maybe if I was intentional and I made better decisions, I wouldn't have to do this and like struggle so much, because I'm struggling. And it's like so hard to even find a job now at my age. Networking, it doesn't mean that you have to be in these people's face all day, but just representing yourself. I don't know. I wasn't intentional about the people that I knew either. I had my friends and that was just it. But I never had people that were going to take me to the next level or help me with my expertise in my career field. So it really did affect my future. And any job that I didn't like, I would just quit. And that's not really intentional. It's not thinking about my future. It's thinking about the present moment. And I mean, I know it's like people just get jobs left and right. Like, I quit that job, I got another job. Like, yeah, it's better to just have a backup plan. I haven't been able to get a job since I quit my last job. And it's like, damn, nigga. Yeah, being intentional, especially as a woman. I mean, I could also say as a young adult, teenager, because all the choices that you make as a teenager is what you become as an adult. Like, if you make careless decisions, I don't know why when you make careless decisions as a teenager, you eventually make careless decisions as an adult if you can't control yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people, they say, well, I changed. And change is hard. It is one of the hardest things to ever come from a human, especially when you've been programmed a certain way. Hence how you've been raised, and how your relatives usually live. Like, it's really hard to break that generational, I'm not even going to say curse, but a lot of things are hereditary. So I didn't want to be the person that was like, I don't want to be nothing like them. I don't want to be, but I also wasn't intentional about like what I did and what I wanted to be in my life. I was just focused on the present moment. And it's like, I mean, I do have a bachelor's degree, but it's like, it's even worse that I have a degree and I'm not putting it to use. I'm not doing anything. I'm not generating any kind of value as far as currency goes. And it's reflecting on my fruit, on my labor, on who I am. Because I am a hard worker. I would consider myself a hard worker. When I want to get something done, I will try. If I don't want to get something done, but I say I'm going to do it, I probably won't do it. And that's my problem too. I got to be intentional with my words and what I say I'm going to do and make sure that it aligns with reality. I don't know. But I know don't follow pop culture. Please don't. Like, it's so easy to just do what everybody else is doing. Everybody is going to the club, they're going out, they going drinking, they smoking weed. Yeah, that's all cool until you ready to get your life together and you realize, like, damn, I wasn't being intentional with how I was spending my time and who I was spending my time with. So that all kind of reflects back to you. And a lot of these people, they ain't even real. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be like, damn, like, how do these people do it? It's because You'll be surprised what exists in this world and what doesn't. You'll be so surprised about how this happens. If you feel like nobody really understands your stories, because they don't. And once you get that through through your head, and you figure out like, damn, okay, nobody understands me. I'm really just like, I'm different from the rest of the people. You are. It's not in your head. You just got to get it through your head, and then adapt from that. Because you got the advantage already by being different. That means you're not programmed like everybody else. That means they're probably only going to go so far. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be intentional. I got to be intentional too. Because I do waste a lot of time sometimes. I say like, no, I'm doing this for a higher purpose. It's for no reason. And that's my problem. I can't do things just for no reason no more. Especially because I'm 28. I'm not 18. I'm not 16. I'm not a young teenager. And don't believe it when they say, oh yeah, you got all the time in the world. You only 20. Oh yeah, girl, that's fine. You got enough time. Never believe that. If you have the time right now, it's right now. It's the present moment. Like, use your time now to do what you want, Being intentional is all about taking over your life in the present moment. Not waiting and putting it on your future self. Because that kind of shows a little self-hate and a little selfishness to your future. Like, damn, like, how you just going to put all of those burdens and all of that trauma on your future self? Like, it's better to start working now so you don't have that many burdens. You don't have that much weight to carry. And the easier it is, the better off you are. Like, it's better to start young and be intentional about what you want to do, or at least have an idea, at least have some money. Because I was just going to job. I don't know. Like, I had hella jobs, and for some reason I was always broke. And it's like I wasn't being intentional with my money either. Like, it's just so crazy. It was like I was just going through life and not really getting the point. Not really understanding it. Not understanding budgeting. Not understanding, like, yeah, it's okay to have a dream, but you actually have to be intentional about how you spend your time. Because I spent a lot of time daydreaming, just laying around, just, yeah, it's okay. And I wasn't really intentional about how I was going to get to my dream. Or even if I was going to make it, I was just like, you know what, I'll get there. And now it kind of just came. And it came in with some punches. And yeah, you can manifest it, but no telling how you going to manifest it. And no telling what is going to happen through your manifestation. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit can get really bad if you decide to just leave it up to fate. Take it into your own hands, because you have more control than you think over your own life. Now, the outside factors, how people feel about you, how they act towards you, you can't control that. And I really wanted to be the one to try to control how people viewed me and how people should respect me, because I've been through so much and nobody understands my pain. Nobody cares. But you can care about yourself, and that is the most important care. The sun will shine a little bit more on you when you care about yourself. Fuck what the fuck these people think about if they hate you, if they like you. Stand up for what you believe in. Don't follow the programming, because the programming isn't even real. I know there's not a lot of real ones out there, but the real ones that know should know. It's so easy to get caught up in everyday programming, doing what everybody else is doing. Follow what you've always felt was your truth. Because I wanted to fight it, and I wanted to just wait around. And honestly, I was daydreaming about a lifestyle that I didn't even want to live. Like, I don't even want to live this lifestyle, but I want the money. That would be nice. But I wanted to do a completely different field. And I was working towards the field. Then out of nowhere, I was like, man, gotta find ways to stay on the grind, even when you want to quit. Even when things get tiring. Oh my gosh. I guess I'm just saying this to myself. I'm honestly just talking to myself on camera, and I might as well record it because it might, I don't know. I just think that hearing stuff out loud really does help people. Sometimes it can be in your head all day long, but when you hear somebody else say it, it just clicks. And that's something that I needed to understand, is that things just sometimes have to click. And for the longest time, I was like, it can't click if you're not being intentional about what you want and how you're going to get there, and have a plan, writing out a script for your life like it's a movie, like you're on a show. Like, because you might be. There's so many unseen eyes, seen eyes. Because everybody's memory of you, it's kind of like a movie. You know, like they have these memories and they look back and it's like, yeah, I remember we went here together. Like, yeah, I don't know. Your life is a movie. Everybody's life is not just, everybody's being seen. Nobody in this world is just being unseen. Everybody's life is a movie. And everybody here is being tracked like data. We're all here living out human experiences. So you got to be intentional about that. And it's so easy to get lost in the crowd, because I've done it more than once, more than twice. I had bad friends giving me the worst kind of advice. I was a kid, though. If you know what sounds bad, just be like, nah, that's not good. And I know it's easier said than done. And I know, like, a lot of girls that grow up with fathers that are really active in their life, proactive. It's something about the girls that were raised with fathers. And it's like they know that you have to be intentional, because men are usually the ones that are the thinkers of the family. They're the ones that have to create the script and create the plan and follow through with the plan. Well, I didn't have that. I mean, I had a grandpa. He did his thing. He was very, very chill, very humbled and down to earth. All he knew was just to work. You know, really no pep talk. That's a whole generation above my mom. So they really didn't talk that much. The baby boomer generation just did what they needed to do because that's all they knew. Work and go. That's it. So I was like, okay, have a job. So I was getting jobs and I was still broke. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna say not every girl that was raised as a, you know, I don't know. Yeah, just have a plan. Have a script. Be intentional. Follow through. Checklist if it helps. If it doesn't help, write a book about it. Like Fantasia does this. Fantasia does that. I just wish that I was a little bit more intentional about myself. Growing up, so I felt like I had the clue and then I lost it. You can't lose it over relationships either, because you just never know what's going to happen. You never know how bad it's going to get. You know what I'm saying? It gets pretty crazy out here in these streets. I don't know if I'm going to upload this because I was stuttering a lot. But I do want to be intentional. More intentional than I have been lately, than I have been in the past.